Hey adventurers, Kevin Parsons with D20 Go here. We're going to walk through character creation. One of my players is going to try running his very first game, his first time being a GM, and so he asked me to play in it. So I'll take you guys along with me, and we'll go build that character together. So what I've done first is I've made a copy of the D20 Go Character Builder. You can get it on our Facebook page. You can get it on our Discord server. Well, you don't really need it. It's pretty easy to build a character, but it'll help you see the process of character building. So let's switch over to that. Okay, so here is our character builder. We'll skip over the character name and description and all of that stuff. You can put in your character's appearance, write down what drives and motivates your character. None of that's necessary right now. Let's start with species. Okay, species in D20 Go it's just not important. I don't want to overdevelop one race or to say that one species, this species is smart and this species is strong. I think that's just promoting racism, and I think that there's enough diversity that in an actual fantasy world where elves and dwarves and all that exist, there's going to be that kind of racism anyways. There's no reason to be heavy-handed with the whole species differentiation. So pick whatever species you want. If it's a species with a unique ability, if you're playing a bird person and you got wings, you say you get a free trait, you can fly. So one basic trait or maybe a minor bonus to a species, and that's all you need to do. These are the basic species in D20 Go: humans, elves. Elves can turn into pixies, and goblins can turn into hobgoblins. And then there's the beast folk. Beast folk is just sort of a catch-all term for like panther man, or the lion people or the elephant people. You can do a lot with the beast folk. Totally just an aesthetic choice, really. And then we get into class. Class is where things get really important. Your class is going to determine your approach to weapons, your approach to armor, your approach to combat, and your access to spells. So we've got 7 classes, and that's it. There's only 7 classes you have to learn when you're learning D20 Go. Because the classes are very customizable, you can mix and match them a little bit. You can get a primary class and a secondary class without any major penalties or anything. So the idea is make the character you want, make any kind of character you want. And these 7, there's a lot of flexibility in them. So you can do anything with them. So the character I'm going to make, we're going to make a wizard knight, which is sometimes mechanically a wizard knight can be a stupid class. You can really hamstring yourself if you're playing a game that has a lot of restrictions, and D20 Go doesn't. So you can make any kind of character you want, and you don't have to worry about your character accidentally being useless. And I'll show you why when we get to our heroics. This GM, he asked me to make a level 5 character, so I'm going to be a wizard knight. So we're going to be a level 4 wizard, and then I'll get to the multi-class in a second. My character, I'm going to have him be 26 years old. Now, D20 Go has age levels. I've seen a lot of people that want to start out a first level character, and they really love backstory. So this character, fought in several wars, and he's this grizzled old veteran. And it just seems absurd for a grizzled veteran of multiple wars to be a level 1 fighter. Like, did you not learn anything in those wars? So D20 Go has these age levels. Age levels don't change your character level. They don't change your class level, but they change your overall character level. So if I was like a 55-year-old dude, I better put in, it gives him 3 age levels. Every 10 years past the median, basic starting age gives you 1 age level. And that gives you bonus traits or bonus heroics that you can spend to show what your character did with all those years. I'm not doing that right now. My character's not going to be older. I'm gonna be a 26-year-old guy. All right. So then we go down to multi-class. I said I wanted to be a wizard knight, so I'm going to pick up just 1 level of Vanguard. Vanguard is the heavy tank. He's the guy who wears tons of armor. Now I only have 1 level of it, and my main class is wizard. So every level of Vanguard is going to increase my armor proficiency by 1. Wizards start with no armor at all. But I'll that first level I'll go up to a leather armor. First level of Vanguard I can get leather armor. Second level of Vanguard I'm going to move up to like a chain shirt. And there's only 7 levels of armor. So if I eventually took 7 levels of Vanguard, then I would be the wizard, half wizard, walking around in plate mail, and still be casting spells and everything. So total arcane knight type of character. I'm not there yet though. Let's look at the other classes real quick. The mystic is the other main spellcaster besides wizard, but there would be equivalent to the D&D sorcerer. They don't have to study their spells. It's all like an innate power. If you were playing a warlock character, you could play it as a mystic. Somebody that they get their power from some other source besides just being a nerd and studying spell books. And then the adept. Adept is I'll build an adept for you in a second so you can see it. It's the character who's got very, very limited access to spells, only because of some kind of performance ability they have. So it's like a bard character that he doesn't know magic, but his music is magical. That would be an adept. Or it could be some kind of like a shadow dancer that they don't cast spells, but their dancing unlocks this magical ability. So that's an adept character. Rogue, we all know rogues: sneaky, backstab, assassin. You can do a diplomatic rogue, whatever you want to do. And then your 3 fighter classes: the martial artist, which is no armor, no weapons, just fisticuffs; the vanguard, which is the heavy tank; and the swashbuckler is somewhere in between. The duelist or the lightly armored fighter that's all about martial skill. So those are your classes. I'm going wizard, vanguard. Total opposites, and it doesn't matter at all. The real customization with D20 Go comes in your traits. You don't have skills. You have to worry about how many points you have in this skill or that skill. You don't have all the special abilities that you have to keep track of and learn all these crazy powers. You just have traits. And traits ultimately are just descriptions of your character. My character is strong and charismatic. Done. There's my 2 traits. It needs to be the things that really stand out, the things that really define your character. If your character is just a little bit stronger than average, then don't worry about it. D20 Go is designed to make things streamlined for play by post. So we only want to note the traits that really stand out for my character. I'm level 5. You get 2 at character creation, and you get another trait at level 3, and one at level 6, one at level 9, every 3 levels. So right now I get 3 free traits. Now I could pick up a flaw and get a couple more free traits, but then you've got to have a flawed character. And I'm just never a big fan unless it's really a big part of the character. So Wizard Knight, I would like to be, let's make him an investigator. And let's give him an animal companion. This is flagged because the companion trait is not listed on this character sheet. It is in the D20 Go complete rulebook, but it's not necessary. You're allowed to make up the traits that define your character. I mean, that's the goal, is to define who your character is with just a few words. So I want to have a companion that's like a raven that follows me around, and that'll be my familiar. So I'll use my familiar to cast spells as my focus instead of like casting with a wand, which would probably be handy with a big knight guy. Investigator, companion, and let's say maybe what else do I want to be? Maybe it should be diplomatic. Should be fast. Should be strong. Strong wizard. No, let's go with the diplomatic wizard. All right. So this is my character. He is investigator. He's got an animal companion, and he's very diplomatic. These are the features that define my character. Some traits, as you look through, and you see this listed on the right over here, some traits have like special things that they add. A companion trait gives me an animal companion. But a lot of the traits are they're just traits. They're just descriptors. And so the question is, how does that affect my character? Why would I spend my traits on something that doesn't, on diplomatic or intelligent if it doesn't do anything? But it does. The way the traits work is anytime you make a check in D20 Go, normally you just roll 1d20 and try to beat the difficulty class. But if you have a trait that applies, then you get to add +10 to that roll. So you are significantly better at that particular check or whatever ability it is than the average person. So my character here, I'm diplomatic. So if I get into a touchy social situation, in the Elven court, and I've got to roll a diplomacy check, my character is good at that shit. So I'm going to be rolling 1d20 and adding 10 to my roll. Same for investigation. I don't have perception as a trait. I'm not very super perceptive, but if I am specifically looking for clues, then my character is really good at that. Right? So that you can get a +10 to your roll. So your character will really shine in a few certain areas. And it avoids having, I got a +2 here and a +4 here and a -3 to this. That's just too much to keep up with. Just 3 traits. I'm good to go. All right, so let's roll down. The racial features for humans, if I was charismatic, I would get +2 to heroics. I didn't want to make a charismatic character, so I don't care. So there is no bonus or negative to playing a human. It's just a way of encouraging a certain type of personality. Class features, this sheet automatically fills them in. Wizard, you only get the class features of your primary class. So I'm a spellmaster, and I'm an Archmage. I get +1 bonus heroics for each attack spell that I learn after the first one. And then at level 5, I get the supernatural appearance trait for free. That's level 5 for Wizard, so I need one more level to get there. As my magic increases and becomes a part of me. So maybe I'll always have a wind blowing around me, this dramatic wind everywhere I go. Just sort of cool effect, that's all. All right, here it is. Here's heroics. This is the way where all the balance comes in with D20 Go and why you never have to worry about screwing up your character. I will pick, because I'm a wizard, I can choose to either be proficient in slaughter and skirmish or proficient in melee and skirmish. All right, those are my only two options. That one level of Vanguard does not hurt my heroics in any way. You can multi-class and it does not screw up your heroics in any way. I will always be proficient in melee and I will always be proficient in skirmish. And these are the stats that you roll when you get into a fight. All right. And you can see the sheet is calculating for me. Proficient means equal to half your character level. All right. I'm level 5. Half of 5 is 2.5. 2.5 rounds up to a 3. So I get a 3 in melee and a 3 in skirmish. If I was a master of one thing, then I would get a 5 instead of a 3 in whatever it is. Now you see I've got a 0 in slaughter. So my character sucks at reckless offense. That's just not his bag. He's good for defense and tactical combat. He's good for skirmish fighting, some evasive tactics. That's where he'll shine. If I'm forced to go all out and be recklessly offensive, if I really got to do some DPS or something, my character's not going to roll a lot. I'm going to be rolling a 0. And at higher levels, that's going to screw me over. In that kind of battle, it won't screw me over in general. The point is that when I go into combat, I choose my tactics, right? The GM might limit those tactics. We might be in a fight where there's no room to maneuver. So skirmish is out. Nobody's allowed to roll skirmish. So I'll just switch to melee, and I'll be rolling my melee. So this is why it's impossible to script your character. No matter what traits you pick and what classes you mix, it's really, when in combat, it's just going to come down to rolling heroics. And then the players, remember, if you watch the combat tutorial, players get to narrate the battle. So I can describe all the crazy maneuvers that I pulled off and all the spells that I was throwing and slinging just narratively. But the roll comes down to the heroic skill, and you can't screw those up. And that's kind of it for character creation. Because I've got one level of Vanguard, I can go up to full leather. So let's go ahead and equip that full leather. That gives me +1 to my injury check. Kind of handy for a wizard. Wizards only get one weapon proficiency group. So let's say my wizard wields 2-handed swords. There we go. And now here's my guy. I'm done. Just name him. Slap a name on there. Human wizard, level 4 wizard, level 1 Vanguard. I'm an investigator. I've got a companion, and I am diplomatic. Here's my class features. And these all just come straight out of the rule book, so it's easy to find. You pick your heroics for your class, and you don't have to do any math there. It's either, if you are a master of something, it's equal to your total character level. If you are proficient, it's equal to half your character level. And throw on some armor, grab you a weapon, and go adventuring. All right, let's build another one. Let's go back. Let's say that let's build like an arcane archer type character. That's a tricky character to build sometimes, because when the game was designed, I didn't want to design a class based around archery, because that would really be a limited class. If you make an archer character, then I guess what you're going to do is archery, and that's it. So how do you build an archer in D20 Go? Oh, honestly, however the hell you want. You can make a Vanguard archer. You can make a swashbuckler archer. You can make a wizard archer. Whatever you want to do. So let's go with adept archer. Now remember, adept is that character that, we'll just start off level 1. He's that character that has very, very limited spell access, usually through some sort of performance. I might do something screwy though. The D20 Go has these traits that are called templates. Some templates are free. A template changes the way a class works. So there is an artificer template. Again, it's not listed here on this quick character builder, but it is in the full rulebook. An artificer, they gain access to the spells through some kind of craft. Now, if you did an artificer wizard, then that means all of your spells you access through some kind of craft. But since I've got an adept, what this does is this replaces my performance with some kind of crafting. So let's say my character is a fletcher. And he's so good at fletching. There's something in the way he fletches and the material he uses. He's so intuitive about it that his arrows become magic. So now he's not quite a spellcaster. He creates spells through these magical arrows. It's kind of like a Hawkeye character, I guess. So I'd have this crazy array of arrows in my quiver, and I had to pull out the right one. Each arrow has a different spell sort of imbued into it, just from my artificer ability. Adepts don't have a lot of spells. At level 1, I think they only have like 2 spells. So I've got regular arrows, and I got 2 cool magic arrows. It's still a very flavorful class. I'm not going to worry about age levels. I get one more trait, so I probably should add marksman. I need to be an archer that sucks at shooting bow and arrow. And here's my class features. I've got the aura, lets me share my magic with others, which is a little bit different with the artificer. And then I choose my heroics. Now, an adept, very flexible in heroics. You can master any one of them or be proficient in any 2 of them. But since I'm going for this arcane archer concept, let's be a master of skirmish. All right. Master of skirmish at level 1, not super impressive. I'll be rolling +1 to all skirmish rolls. But remember, with magical arrows every time. I can wear pretty good armor as an adept, but I'm going to throw on just some brigandine. Brigandine gives me a +1 to skirmish. So now I've got a 2 to all my attack rolls. Got a little bit of an injury check, weapon proficiency. These are pretty big weapon families. You get a whole category of weapons when you choose a weapon proficiency, but I better choose bows, right? There we go. Now I have an arcane archer, then artificer, adept. And that's it. That's all there is to it. You choose a class, you pick a few traits that describe your character, and you pick which types of combat you want to be good at. And that's all you have to do for character creation in D20 Go. So once you get on there, start adventuring. Like us on Facebook for character ideas and links to a lot of different resources for you.